Mark St. John died in a hospital after suffering a brain hemorrhage on April 5th, 2007. He was only 51 years old. The official cause of what the Orange County coroner ruled was listed as an accidental overdose of methamphetamine, but some reports suggest the brain hemorrhage may have been related to a brutal beating he suffered earlier in prison. Mark Leslie Norton, also known as Mark St. John, was arrested on September 14, 2006 and jailed for possession of drug paraphernalia, attempted destruction of evidence, and resisting arrest. He spent 2 weeks at the Theo Lacey Jail in Orange County, California in September 2006. Jail records indicate that Norton told guards he'd stolen crackers from another inmate and expressed fear for his safety before being moved to another location inside the jail where he was assaulted. However, some sources claim that Norton had snitched on a drug dealer years earlier. Norton's reputation as a snitch was widely known among inmates and guards. His name was going around the jail. So, what did really happen to Mark St. John? Well, according to the Orange County Weekly, Orange County's leading source of news, culture, and entertainment, violence was common at the Theo Lacey Jail in Orange at the time Mark got in there. John Chamberlain, an inmate awaiting trial for possession of child pornography at the Theo Lacey Jail in Orange, was brutally murdered there. Mark Norton was at the Theo Lacey Jail just a few weeks before Chamberlain's murder. On April 9, following a 9-month grand jury investigation into John Chamberlain's murder at Theo Lacey Jail, acting Orange County Sheriff Jack Anderson suspended 5 deputies and called in the FBI to look into possible civil rights violations. 2 months later, Sheriff Anderson is set to be replaced by Sandra Hutchins, the first female sheriff in Orange County. 2 of the suspended deputies revealed that Kevin Taylor, the guard who allegedly labeled Chamberlain a child molester to other inmates, frequently let assaults happen in jail. Notably, there was an ongoing investigation into Mark Leslie Norton, a former Kiss guitarist who died in April 2007 due to a drug-related brain hemorrhage after a brief stint at the jail. No records of him being hurt or seeking medical help, but a shot caller, Jared Petrovich, said he and another inmate planned to have Norton assaulted for the theft. Petrovich claimed they were rewarded with sack lunches for carrying out the attack. Another inmate, a shot caller who preceded Petrovich, who confirmed Petrovich's account, said a deputy was aware of the beating but unsure if he was watching. After the assault, the inmates involved received a milk crate full of lunches as a reward. In a letter to the Orange County Weekly, he asked not to be identified by name. Here is what he said. Kevin Taylor told me personally that St. John was caught stealing from another inmate in D Barracks and needed his butt kicked, the inmate wrote. So, just so we are clear, a thief is a house issue, so everybody gets to take a shot. So over the next couple of hours, wave after wave of inmates beat that dude while Deputy Taylor sat in the bubble. Whether he watched or not, I don't know, but he sure as hell knew what was happening. After Mark St. John was beaten, we were rewarded with a whole milk crate of sack lunches. 3 additional sources, including 2 friends and a relative, have confirmed that Norton was attacked while incarcerated, providing a different perspective on the incident. A family member, speaking for Norton's parents, confirmed the assault at Theo Lacey and mentioned that they had engaged a lawyer who reached out to the DA's office. They believe the case has now been referred to the FBI. Meanwhile, a representative from the DA's office indicated that it is under active investigation by the Sheriff's Department. Additionally, Norton's ex-girlfriend, who wished to remain anonymous, corroborated that he suffered significant injuries, expressing her belief that this incident played a crucial role in his tragic death months later. Here's what she said. "I will testify under oath to the fact that he was severely beaten at Theo Leslie. I personally went to the facility a few days before he was beaten to visit him, and he told me that he feared for his life. I didn't take it seriously until the day he was released, and I went to visit him and was heartbroken to see him beaten to the point that I didn't recognize him." While Norton was still behind bars, but before the assault, Norton revealed to his girlfriend that he had informed on a drug dealer several years ago. He had a friend there who heard deputies saying he was a snitch, she said in an interview. Norton told her he'd been attacked by as many as 20 inmates who stabbed him with pencils and beat him. He was never the same, she said. Even after healing, he suffered from internal pain and headaches. He said many times it was due to the beating. His girlfriend wanted him to see a doctor, but he had no medical insurance. She disputes the coroner's ruling of Mark's death as a drug overdose, believing it was due to the jail assault months earlier. She claims he wasn't using drugs, and she was the last person to see him alive. Another friend of Norton's, who asked to remain anonymous, confirms that Norton had snitched on a drug dealer several years ago after being arrested for possession of methamphetamine. He claims that the arresting officer was a Garden Grove cop who happened to be a former high school classmate of Norton's. He had been busted once and then got caught again, and he rolled over on some guy, the friend claims. Everybody knew he rolled on somebody. His name went around the jail, Mark Norton. If he ends up here, he's going to get beaten. According to the source, after being released from prison, Norton did not discuss his time behind bars. He was lost in his drug addiction after his release, hosting parties for anyone except police, selling all his outfits, everything but the gold record, and ultimately resorting to mowing lawns and doing roofing to fund his drug habit. This is how a neighbor of Mark's remembers him. I was privileged to have spent some time with Mark St. John. We were neighbors in Garden Grove, California, where he lived down the road from Gary Street. A great personality, but at the time, we were into the nitty-gritty, if you know what I mean. I remember seeing him in his garage grinding away on his guitars, which led me giving him a grinder which he needed. Sorry, Dad, Mark St. John needed it. I remember one night we got pretty wired and we climbed a gated apartment building and took a dip in the facility's jacuzzi. With excitement rushing through us as we scaled the gates and then eased in the jacuzzi, I inquired what was it like to have played with Kiss. He responded with, "How would you like to be around a bunch of New Yorkers?" as we laughed intently. On another occasion, we were hanging out in his garage where guitars and shiny albums were crowded onto his garage walls. I was then awestruck at this Kramer electric guitar that I couldn't keep my eyes off and asked him if he would take it down from its pedestal. As a gentle giant that Mark was, he concurred and plugged it into an amplifier, and I started jamming. I was crazy about this Kramer, which I played like a jewel. I played a riff and I had created in the years that I played guitar, and he asked me to play it again. To my astonishment, Mark admired my riff, asked me to forge on and to finish the song. Till this day, I haven't completed it. As I was chomping away on the guitar, Mark handed me a guitar magazine. He swiped through the pages and stopped on a page where Eddie Van Halen was holding the same guitar I held in my hand. He looked at me and smiled and went on doing what he was doing. Apparently, all the famed rockers knew Mark and partied hard with him, from the likes of Motley Crue to Van Halen that came over to bark at the moon till dawn. I know he had regrets, and I'm sure he would have done more and accomplished many feats if it wasn't for the arthritis. It was a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mark St. John. God bless, and I know you are jamming on the other side.
Hey guys, if you liked this video, please subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you.